Whoa, there's people here. You just click the button and
Boom.
things fly around the screen and people are just here already. How's it going, y'all? Welcome to the weekly Q&A. We take questions from Patreon and from YouTube members and from anybody who can smash them into the feed over here, or anybody who uses a super chat gets pumped.
You get pumped.
Pump you up to the top of the pile. And we have a cool subject to talk about tonight. I want to know, and I'm just going to ask, I like doing these a little bit different. I've been doing these a little different. I want to know right away so that people can start commenting about it. Do you think that concerts, like going to live shows, is still worth it in 2022? There's a couple of reasons I'm going to bring up in a few minutes why I thought of this question today. So whether it's not worth it to you price-wise or who's available to see, or maybe it is, who do you want to see still? Have you been looking at schedules? I'm curious about this because I think it affects, people don't want to think so, but I also think it affects what guitars are selling and what gear is popular too. So we'll talk about a couple of reasons why I brought that up in a few minutes, but that's really it. We have a lot of questions that came in through Patreon and the YouTubes.
Mm-hmm.
So can we jump straight into those? And if it makes you think of a question, put it over here in the thingy or super chat it, and Leslie will try to catch it.
All right. Bobby, have you ever bought or played a store brand guitar that you liked? Examples, Michael Kelly or Mitchell.
I've never bought any of that store brand stuff, but I've played lots of Silvertones and lots of Ks and lots of stuff like that, and that was all Sears brand stuff, all that Japanese stuff in the 60s. But as far as modern stuff, I haven't. Because I think just buy a Fender, like just buy a Squire. So that's kind of my brain on it. That's why I do it. I've looked at them. I think that you can get a better guitar. I think the reason they sell them is because they come in cool colors and stuff. So, it makes it maybe more attractive to some people. But I think just getting into even a lower end Epiphone or Fender and building that legacy into one of the bigger brands that's what I would encourage a young player to do. Yeah.
Charles, this is just to say thank you to you and Leslie. It's weird when I read it, though,
Charles.
Right? To Dylan and me. I don't know. You have to read it.
Well, otherwise I would have to say, oh, I see what you're saying.
It's just weird to read my own name sometimes.
Well, thanks, Charles.
Thanks. Ivan, how can I add extra hours to my day so I have time to watch all my favorite YouTube mentors? Asking for a friend.
Well, I think you would have to find somebody worth calling a mentor on YouTube first, and then go to the bathroom more?
Oh, that's terrible.
Thanks, Ivan.
Asking for a friend.
Especially because he's asking for a friend. The going to the bathroom thing might be a little weird.
Mr. Goat, what do you think SP90 single P90 single guitar would sound like? Can't say I have ever heard one. And why?
It'd be tough to balance because middle pickups are usually really loud because of where they are. And I think it would be tough to balance. I think the middle pickup would just be super pokey in comparison to the rest of it. Especially because the middle pickup has lots of that pokey mid-range, and it would really probably overpower the other two. That would be my guess, but I've never tried it either, so I don't know. Maybe there's only one way to find out. swimming pool route and some pick guards.
Rob, starting to save plan for the first upgrade with your pickups. I must
Sweet.
decide between a loaded pick guard for my Affinity Strat or P90s for my son's Bullet Mustang. May I send you a custom P90 pickguard plus control plate for the Mustang and have the pickups and electronics installed? Thank you.
We don't usually do that. So what we will do though, and it honestly wouldn't, okay, let me say this. It would not save you any money to send me a pickguard. Pickguards are not expensive. At least the way I get them. So I don't know if you noticed or not, but when you look at a loaded pickguard on Dylan Talks Tone, it's not really that much more than buying a set of pickups. So it's worth doing. So instead of you sending me a pickguard, what I would do is have you pick a color of a pickguard, tell me what you want, make sure I can get it, make sure it's on the list of ones that's available to me, and we'll just build you a loaded pickguard and send it to you. You sending me one and blah, 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 messing with all that never really works out very well. Yeah, people sending me stuff doesn't really typically work out. It's for repair kind of stuff. Oh, we got a super chat.
Jose Rivera, thank you for the super chat. He says, my son is actually Dylan, but it's because of the other Dylan. What do you think of the Fender New Porter player? There is a sale one for $299.
I don't know what that is.
That philosopher said New Porters are good, reliable guitars.
New Porter player. I don't know what that is. Oh, and as far as your question goes about the loaded pickguard thing, either one would be really fun to do. Oh. It's an acoustic. Okay.
$299.
$299, man. I don't know how you could really go wrong. If that philosopher says that he thinks they're reliable, that means he's probably played one.
Mm-hmm.
I know he tries a lot of different stuff. It's got a solid spruce top. It's got mahogany back and sides. I mean, a solid top guitar for $299. I don't know how you could go wrong with that. As long as the fretwork and stuff is good, which, even if it's not perfect at $299, you take it to a tech for $75 and get yourself sorted out. I bet that would be a really good guitar. And it's a really cool color. Look at that color.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really cool. And it has a pickup in it. Yeah. On sale for $299 because I'm seeing $450. So that's pretty sweet, dude. I'd totally go for that.
Arwen Gambler said, do New Porters come in menthol?
That's a good question. If they came in surf green, that would be hilarious. You could have like the menthol New Porter.
Timothy Potter said, I finally made a live stream. I'm just downright excited.
Nice. Live streams are fun. I like doing them.
All right. Lauren?
Maybe.
On your Texas Toast video about woodcuts, he says that you want quarter sawn wood for any use on guitar. Is quarter sawn really the best choice for neck wood since it could shift side to side or twist, and flat sawn will likely only bow under string pressure, which can be corrected by a truss rod?
I think that the perception of how much that happens is way overblown by people. A properly constructed neck is not bendy. It doesn't move around like you think it does. Now, an improperly constructed neck will, but there are literally hundreds of thousands of guitars with crap wood in the neck floating around all over the world that are staying in tune and playing fine. I think this is a really overthought, myth overtaken kind of thing. Now, that being said, quarter sawn is cool because it puts the grain this way, and it makes it to where the neck doesn't actually move as much in under weather. But going side to side, there aren't really any pressures on the guitar that will go side to, if you're looking down the neck, it won't go this way. There's nothing really to do that. So I think it's overblown, the worry about that, if that makes sense. But a quarter sawn neck will probably be marginally more stable in weather conditions. But if you're a normal guy who's not like playing on the beach one week and playing in Arizona the next week, it's no real big shake. I mean, I play carbon fiber, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm just kidding.
Shane, I've owned 3 medium-priced Hum single strats, one with a Dylan P90 single coil in the bridge, another with a stock humbucker, and another with a hot rail single coil sized humbucker. We all know which sounded the best, but for the hot rail versus the humbucker, I felt the hot rail lacked punch. Is there a reason for this, or is it all in my head?
No, there is. Those hot rails are probably because they're super dark sounding, and it probably doesn't have a ton of mid-range punch. I mean, a little 59 sometimes will, depending on which one it is, but they're so small. The coils are so small and short. And then you have to use such a high gauge of wire, like 43 or 44, probably 44, to get any output out of the thing, that they become kind of flat. And the mid-range gets a little squished. And that's why why they don't punch through. Yeah. That's my opinion, or what I think of it.
Thomas Torville, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Hi, everyone. Have a cup of Joe on me."
Awesome. Thanks, man. Actually, that reminds me, we only have this much espresso beans left in the grinder.
That's all that's left.
That's all that's left. So we need to
dun, dun, dun. Down to the wire. Thanks again, Thomas.
Yes, thank you. So that comes just in time.
Yes. Wayne Hussey.
Yes, that's okay. We'll go with that.
Do you think Ticketmaster's flexible pricing ripoff model should be declared, I don't know, illegal in the USA like it is in the EU? I understand from my friend in Miami that ticket pricing in the USA is completely out of control.
It is bonkers crazy. So I don't know how that works, but I think it is sort of like a map sort of thing, but I don't understand totally how it works. That being said, I asked Leslie earlier today to, in conjunction with our thumbnail tonight, to look up some concert prices. I was basically like, okay, what do you want to go to? I don't care what it is. Doesn't matter. Don't care even what kind of music. What do you want to go to? And how much are the tickets? I mean, decent seats. Like, I'm not talking about like nosebleeds at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. I'm talking about
I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, you don't like sitting up that high anyway. So, what were some ticket prices are you looking up that?
I was trying to see if they actually define that, but it basically just sounds like they're blaming it on like supply and demand.
Basically, what they're doing is they're saying we can get away with charging this much. So, but what's crazy about it, I think, is the artists aren't getting any more of the money.
Oh, really?
It's some weird split thing. I don't understand it 100% enough to even comment on it, really. But I know.
But it has to be defined enough if the EU can outlaw it.
Yes,
right?
He alluded to the fact that it's not good. I know that it's not good, but I don't know exactly why.
Okay.
So, what are a couple of the shows that you looked up that you want to go to, and how much were the tickets to go to them? I was curious.
Okay, so I didn't know what you wanted.
Okay.
So I have 6 different things.
Okay.
It's still close to us though, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So what do you want to know? I don't.
Like, how much were the
The range?
Yeah. Like what? Well, first of all, what were the shows?
I have Vince Gill on the list, Imagine Dragons, The Killers, Keith Urban, Smashing Pumpkins with Jane's Addiction, and Post Malone.
Okay, so how much was the Vince Gill tickets?
You want each or yeah?
Yeah, each
With fees, like $120.
a person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, how about the next one? Go to the next one.
Imagine Dragons, 337 each.
Holy crap, dude! The last time we saw them, it was for free. Okay, keep going.
The next one is 217.
Who's that?
The Killers.
Wow.
And these are not great seats. These are okay. So maybe we should say that. So I'm typically the places range from like a theater type, a bigger type theater, to amphitheaters to arena size, right? So I'm typically like first balcony person in all of those situations.
Right. Not all the way to the top, but not like in the mosh pit. You want to be like looking from here. Yeah.
So not the best seats, but not nosebleed or anything, and not against the wall. Like I kind of want to be
kind of
center
in the middle.
Up high.
Yeah. Good seats.
Keith Urban was 137.
Vince Gill and Keith Urban for the win on the cheapness so far.
Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's Addiction, 123.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And Post Malone was 278. So Imagine Dragons was highest, and it was outside.
So Post Malone and Imagine Dragons are highest, which is interesting because they're the youngest audience probably of that group that you shared.
Yeah, probably.
Right? The youngest people audience.
Mm-hmm.
So what brought this up for me was, and we should see what everybody else is saying.
I mean, we have tons of comments. So good. It's not a conversation. We're going to have to get to it.
Okay. We'll get to it in just a second. But a couple of the things that I keep seeing are like Rage Against the Machine, which is a band that I've never gotten. Well, maybe I got to see them a long time ago, but not recently. Since they've been back together, had to cancel for health reasons. There's a whole bunch of bands that I want to see. These guys are getting so old that either they're too sick to tour or they suck. That is why this whole thing came up. Because last night, so what I'm telling you, you were asking me, why are we talking about this?
Yeah.
Because last night, Leslie and I and the kids were looking at YouTube at some of the tours that are out right now. Def Leppard, Bon Jovi sucks.
Not going to Bon Jovi.
No, not going to Bon Jovi ever again. Def Leppard sounded amazing. Motley Crue sounded like Vince Neil needed to do some jogging. But the rest of the band sounded amazing. So it's getting to this weird thing where the normal guitar hero people that we want to go see, like these rock bands that would be amazing, it's kind of not worth going, especially if those ticket prices are what is. And what I worry about is the amount of folks, because for as many people will say, I don't care about signature model guitars. I don't care. I'm never going to buy a signature model guitar. The polling and the surveys that marketing people do prove time and time again that artist endorsements really drive what guitars people play. Whether you might not buy a signature Telecaster from Brent Mason, but you may go buy a Telecaster because of Brent Mason. I don't mean you bought the signature model. I mean you are a Fender guy because of Stevie Ray Vaughan, or you are but because all of these concerts are getting either too expensive or the people are bombing out because they're too old, it's affecting that. It's very interesting. And I wonder if that's going to affect, this is literally, I wonder, and this is what I want to ask you, and so we'll get to this in a second, but I wonder how it will affect it. And has it affected your choices already? You know, I just think it's very interesting. So what are people saying?
All right. I mean, we have 37 comments.
All right, let's roll.
So, BC Rich 581 said, by and large, legacy rock bands are not, based on the cost and the fact that these shows are formulaic and don't really have much to recommend them to people other than being able to say you've gone.
Yeah, because they're just playing their records over again, right? Right, I get it.
John Waller, smaller shows have been just as amazing. I saw Tash Sultana in July, and probably the best live guitar playing I've experienced. Get out there and go see live shows. After all, this is why we play.
Yes, but see, here's what's happening. Just briefly to your point, you have to go discover more obscure sounds. You're not going to see Def Leppard. You're finding a more obscure sound, and more obscure player.
What does obscure mean in this context?
Like, not mainstream, not like, not Van Halen and not, and not Def Leppard and not Motley Crue and not, like all the normal, we all go see these guitar heroes. He's going to find independent artists. We mentioned a few last week too, like Krungbin and those guys that are like, you know them if you know them, but you don't hear them all the time, I guess. Okay, keep going.
Chuck C said Bruce Springsteen tickets sold here for $5,000.
Yep, that's another one I heard of.
Jeffrey Egan, live shows are always great. I just can't do crowds anymore, and ticket prices are ridiculous. John Waller, I love concerts. I've literally been to over 20 concerts so far this year. That's incredible.
That's awesome.
And the musicians have been amazing. You can tell they miss playing. Life and the audience here in Seattle are awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Lee Asbury, I'd love if Dawes came through Pittsburgh. I'd see that show.
Cool.
Windsurf Maui, watched vlog number 16. Oh, that's actually a question. Let's get back to that.
Okay.
Wayne Hussey, gigs are always worth it until Ticketmaster deploys flexible pricing. Denmark is expensive for most things, but at least the law stops Ticketmaster from ripping music fans off. Yeah,
I want to do some more research about that. I might even do a little editorial video on that once I learn about it, because I think it's important.
Lee Asbury said they have a free concert in an outdoor theater here every Friday in Pittsburgh. I've seen Steve Earle, Bonnie Raitt, and all kind of great national acts.
That's so cool, man.
Wish we had that. RS2KR, Chili Peppers at SoFi Stadium, $600 for 2 tickets with all the fees, thanks to Ticketmaster.
Woo.
I mean, that's $300 a piece.
That's a lot of money, though.
It is.
For 2 hours of entertainment? Or with an opener, maybe? 3?
Rob F. gave up arena concerts years ago. Still love small venues. Taking my twins to their first rock and roll show in November. Soraya, is that what that says? Album launch party in Philly.
Cool. Oh, an album launch party is a different thing, too. That's neat.
Yeah, I think I would still do probably an arena as long as it wasn't nosebleed. I think I'm over music festivals.
Yeah, we're not.
And I much prefer small venues.
Well, music festivals have gotten dumb. They were used to be amazing, and they just kind of have gotten dumb. I would go to...
What is dumb about them?
The structure and how they set up the sets and who's in what sets. Like, I would like to actually see most of the people that are, for example, at Bonnaroo, but I just feel like the way they structure it, it makes it hard because I don't want to be there for 3 days. Like, I would like to see...
But they want you there.
Exactly.
It's marketing.
It's marketing, for sure. Yeah.
Eddie Quinones. Last week I was able to see Rage Against the Machine as a casual fan. It was nuts. Zach having to sit down on an amp case because of an Achilles injury took nothing away from the performance whatsoever.
I heard about that, and I heard it was really good.
Danilo Heat. Yes, they are. I saw Symphony X 2 weeks ago and had a blast. Having that kind of experience live is indescribable. The energy of a live concert is unique.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, and to be clear, I am not talking down about this at all. It's getting harder. It's getting harder.
Matthew Perkins, the older I get, the lower my tolerance for loud music, drunken idiots, the smell of pot, and all of that gets.
I feel you on that. We're getting, which like she was just alluding to, we are getting pickier about venues, for
and
sure.
And it's not, so what's disappointing to me, even from like a festival or even like lawn at an amphitheater, it's not, people want to say like, these young people, it's not. It's the people our age that like never go anywhere and they like get trashed.
It's drunk. All the drunk soccer moms that don't have kids for a night.
Very disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. And they get obnoxious. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, it keeps switching the order. Dirk Tucker said he's seeing Megadeth on Saturday.
Ooh.
Jim Cunningham, my daughter prefers festivals over straight concerts unless it's Billy Strings. Yeah, I get that. Our kids want to go to festivals right now,
our kids go to festivals too, yeah. And I mean, I would too, but it gets too, I don't know. Our kids got to see Miley Cyrus though, and I really, really, really want to see her. And that was the only way you could do that was at a festival.
Yeah. Wayne Hussey, sounds like it's cheaper for Americans to fly to Europe and see bands there. I'd be down.
I'd be down for that. I would totally be down for that.
Wayne Hussey also said, LOL, when I saw Jane's in 91, it was $12.
Exactly. And I know I don't want to be like old man yelling at the clouds because I know inflation is a thing. And we talk about inflation in guitars all the time. And I get annoyed with people who are like, guitars are so expensive because everything is expensive. And getting there. But this just seems a little over the top.
Chuck C., I just saw Metallica and Greta Van Fleet. Amazing show. Prices for tickets are going way up. I feel like that was like on a Thursday, right?
Yeah. Didn't you say last week that you were going to see them? Yeah. I'm not a huge Greta Van Fleet fan, but I would like to see them live. I'm not a Led Zeppelin fan, so Led Zeppelin Jr. doesn't make sense to me. But he's a really good guitar player, and I would really like to see him live at least.
Rob F., I can't do the bake in the sun thing anymore.
Oh, yes. I get you on that. Or the mud.
Or the porta potties.
Or the porta potties.
Or the lines for the porta potties is worse than the actual porta potties. Like when you can't just decide to go to the bathroom.
So we should say, having our own bathroom with us for the last few years, wherever we go, in a motorhome of some sort, has spoiled us on that. Like, yeah, I don't want to go to a porta potty for any reason whatsoever.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but when you can't even go because they only have like 5 for like 5,000 people, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I get you.
Fat Philosopher, before the pandemic, I was going to see Dream Theater and Iron Maiden, but both got canceled. In Japan, we are still locked down, so no live music in the foreseeable future. I didn't realize that.
Oh, interesting.
Monsters of the Id, even local punk shows have been getting stupid expensive, like $25 for entry, up from when it used to be $5.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. $25 makes sense. $50 even makes sense. I think. Oh, did we ever buy those Rise Against tickets?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We were gonna go see Rise Against, but I don't know if that already happened.
If you're looking to me,
I forgot.
Nobody told me it was my job.
Well, yeah, it's okay. I need to look and see because I really want to.
We're seeing somebody. I don't even know who they are. I was just told that we're supposed to go next month. Is somebody's guitar player? Whose guitar player are we seeing?
I don't remember.
At the Fox's Slayer?
Oh, Jimmy Buffett's guitar player.
Is that who it is? I didn't know.
Oh, yay. Sorry. Not a fan. But he's probably good. If he sounds like Jimmy Buffett, I'm going to be disappointed. Hopefully, he just plays like that when he's with Jimmy Buffett and he is his own man when he's by himself. Then I will be stoked.
I think it sounds fun either way.
But I cannot stand Jimmy Buffett.
We do.
I like margaritas, but I can't stand Jimmy Buffett.
We can disagree. All right, so that is question. Eric Johnson, phones, both physically being there and the effect they've had on people in general, have really degraded the large concert experience.
I think you will not get a agreeing consensus from us on that. I disagree with that, but
Chuck C, I paid $250 for a 100 level ticket for Metallica. So that same show he's talking about.
Okay. That's so not on the floor. That's first, like, yeah, okay.
Dirk Tucker, Greta Van Fleet in a few weeks, Black Keys in another few weeks.
Ooh.
That's fun.
I'm not a fan of Dan Auerbach, because I think he's kind of a jerk. Because he only likes certain, he's kind of a snob about music in my opinion, but he's really good.
As you're talking about being a snob about music?
Well, he's just like, these kids, this music sucks. He's one of those people. I've listened to him a bunch of times. But he's really good, though. So, I mean, you can't argue with somebody who's awesome. Nope, super chat.
Let's see. Van Shank Guitars, thank you for the super chat. He said, here's a couple of margaritas on me. Awesome.
Thanks. That's like if we were in Mexico.
I mean,
we could get margaritas for $5 in Mexico.
All right, back to the list I've already grabbed.
Oh, that's metric money, though, so it's probably different.
Monsters of the Id, when I saw Bus Driver, it was $16. I don't know who Bus Driver is. Does he like all punk?
I do, and that's kind of punky, and that might be 1982 when it was $16.
Tone Dragon, absolutely they are. Just saw Big Wreck last week. Was a fantastic show. Something about being in a room with a great band you just can't experience at home, in my opinion. Love the show.
Well, I am very encouraged to know that people are still going, even if it is expensive. Mm-hmm. And even if... I think it's great. And hearing a bunch of people say that they are finding other people to go see, too. And not being discouraged by the fact that all of our rock heroes are either dead or almost dead or sick or crippled or can't sing anymore, like Bon Jovi or Vince Neil. And people are still going anyway. I think it's great. I think it's really, really cool.
Brad Guitar Miller wanted to see Bonham at the Hard Rock. Small theater. Tickets were close to $300, too much, even though he put on a great show. It's too much, even though he puts on a great show. Yeah. John Waller, I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers a couple weeks ago, and amazing. The Strokes opened for them, and Eddie Vedder came on stage and did a song with them. Crowd went crazy.
The Strokes are awesome, too. Well, cool. It's good to know that people are still going. I'm glad of this. I really, really like this. Do we have some other questions in there that are actual?
Do you want to finish the conversation we're having?
Oh, sure. Is there more? Yeah. Let's.
Yeah, that's just what I grabbed before we started talking about it.
Okay, cool.
But there's going to be a ton.
Awesome.
Let me keep scrolling back to see where we probably left off. Yes.
I'm really glad that people are going. That's awesome.
Wayne Hussey, most of the bands I go see these days are about the same age as my kids. Still cheap and mostly awesome. VN? What's VN? Oh, Vince Neil needs to retire permanently. Sean McMillan. Vince Neil needs to retire permanently. Saw him open for Van Halen. He was sadly disappointing then.
Yeah. Mick Mars was amazing, and Tommy Lee was amazing. He had his pants on, but he was really good. Nikki Sixx was. We watched a bunch of videos last night, and Vince Neil was the only one that wasn't really with it. The rest of the band sounded amazing.
Yeah. Rob F. saw a bunch of videos from a recent Who tour. Daltrey and Townsend Townsend.
It's Townsend, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Mhm.
Voices were still sounding pretty good, though the harmonies were not the same without Entwistle.
Yeah, John Entwistle. I get
I
that.
don't know how to say all these names.
Yeah.
Van Shank guitars. I remember going to see Brian Adams back in the 80s for $30 or $40, and the bonus we got Tom Cochrane and Red Rider opening for him.
Oh, wow. I have seen probably 300 shows, and I don't even remember. The most I think I've ever paid for something was probably $100. Yeah. We haven't gone in a few years. When we first got married, I think there was almost a 3-year period where we went to something every month. You used to have a whole list. We had.
I don't even know what I did with it.
Dozens.
I stopped keeping count, and then I regretted it.
Yeah.
John Hawaii 2003. My father was ticked off when he had to pay $12 to see Elton John back in the late 70s.
I had a friend give me a set of tickets. Well, he offered to give me a set of tickets, and I want to say they were like $3,000 or something. They were ridiculous. It was not $3,000. It was probably, I can't remember. I want to say it was like $2,300 or something.
I have to lose my place again because we got a super chat, and I don't. Okay, I did that one.
Yep. Thank you.
Super chat from Sassy Cat. Thank you for the super chat. Jimmy Buffett made a career off of Margaritaville, just saying.
It's totally true.
Literally.
One song.
A chain of restaurants and resorts and song.
Yep. I totally get it. And shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And
some very
hats.
loyal fans, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dustin Jennings said Jack Johnson lawn seats were $1,495.
What? I saw Jack Johnson for free. Somebody gave me tickets.
Lunatic Tool in San Francisco in January. Tickets over $100. Worth it, to me at least.
See, I'm glad people are still finding value in it. That's what I was. The reason I brought this up is I was more worried about it. But it sounds like people are still going, which is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's great. We need to keep going.
Keep going to shows?
Yes.
Makes sense. One thing I miss about my ex is that she'd always get us on the guest list somehow.
That's funny.
Kenneth Crickmore, Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine, along with Casey and the Sunshine Band on Miami Beach. Free concert sponsored by a local radio station in 82. So much fun in the sun.
My God.
That's pretty cool.
Bet that was amazing. I bet there was a lot of cocaine on that beach in 1980, whatever. That's proper Miami right there.
That is, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Dirk Tucker, back in the day, I saw Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. Tickets for these shows were cheap, probably $25 at most.
Oh, yeah.
Joy Kaminsky said she's going to see Elvis Costello next week.
Oh, cool. I want to know if he's too old to be cool anymore.
Wayne Hussey says, come to the Heartland Festival here in Denmark. It's like a posh festival for middle-class people.
So I will tell you, one time this was in 1996. Everybody knows about Woodstock 99. I was there too. Everybody's asking me if I've seen the documentary, and I'm like, no, but I was there, so I don't need to see the documentary. But they had another thing in 1996 called A Day in the Garden, and it was actually at Max Yasgur's farm where the original Woodstock was, in the same exact spot. But because the promoters couldn't do a deal with Woodstock, they couldn't call it Woodstock because the brand, whoever owned it or whatever. So we were there, and it was awesome. It was 2 days. It was super fun. We stayed all 2 days. We just camped out on the grass, and it was like a proper festival. This was 96, and where you could just leave stuff and hey, can you watch my stuff? And you'd come back. But what I remember about that is, the reason I'm bringing this up is, there was a group of people sitting right in front of us over here who were at the original Woodstock, and it looked like they'd never left. long, scraggly beards and super high the entire time. And then there was this guy sitting next to us who we walked in with. So I know he drove a Volvo 850R wagon. And I had one of those. And so it was, it was a nice car. I had one of those and he had one. And so we were talking and he comes in and he's like a doctor and like sits down in his little chair and unfolds his little table and has got his little basket and uncorks his wine and he's sitting there and he's all fancy. Well, he was at the original Woodstock too, but he went a completely different direction in life than these other people over here that were at the original Woodstock. And it was, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a pretty funny story. My dad was supposed to go, but he got drafted. Yeah.
Monsters of the Id said, I was supposed to propose to my fiance at Welcome to Rockfield, but they canceled it. Wait, didn't you propose anyway? I feel like we knew about a proposal.
Yeah, I think we knew something.
Are you married by now? That was probably years ago. I don't even know.
Right? How many of these live streams on Thursdays have we done now?
How long have I been here?
Oh, man.
I have something in my eye. It's driving me insane. Sorry, y'all.
Have we been doing it since before the motorhome?
I don't know if it was before. Probably not.
Not with you.
Jeez. Somebody's going to fall through the ceiling one day.
Yeah, our upstairs neighbors are going to come.
It's going to be really funny for a laugh, though. Not really.
I'm just saying,
it won't be funny at all.
If their foot comes through that ceiling, I will be taking pictures before I call for help. That is all I'm saying.
Okay. That philosopher. I took a group of Japanese to a hockey game in Canada. They asked what the smell was, and I told them it was pot. They were so surprised. Also didn't like the kiss cam.
Oh, my goodness.
But, so we have a friends who told us a story about going to Japan and being whisked off to a spa. And I thought Japanese people were super conservative, too. But they were like, if you're at the spa, it's totally okay to be, like, naked. Just walking around naked.
Oh, really?
And I was really surprised by that. So I don't know if that's true or not. Patrick Trites. I saw Slash and Miles Kennedy a few years ago, and all the good seats were over $1,000 Canadian. That would be really good, though.
Yeah, that almost might be right.
All right, I think we're getting back to the question. Steve Rezer said, Def Leppard was awesome Tuesday night. Poison was really good. CeCe sounded great. Motley rocked. Vince did pretty good. Loved seeing Mick Mars again.
Nobody talks about Joan Jett, and I bet she was amazing too. I'm a huge Joan Jett fan. Massively, like, a crush on her, Joan Jett. I love Joan Jett.
I think we might be... Windsurf Maui said yes, but not if it costs $500 a ticket. I want to see Carlos Santana again, George Benson again. Both used to come to Maui every other year when I lived there.
Oh, that's cool.
All
right, let's get into some questions. If there's some guitar-related questions in there, probably. Yeah, let's do it.
Monster.
If you have some, get them in there. Use a super chat. We got about 15 minutes left.
I haven't even got back over there to see if new stuff has come in. These were like ones I already had. There.
Cool.
So it's tough, y'all.
Oh, this has been fun. Yeah. This is a good conversation.
Monsters of the Id. Is it possible to make a synthesizer by touching a 9-volt battery to the tip of a patch cable that goes in an overclocked tremolo pedal?
I don't know
that is
anything
specific.
About that. That is...
No, I mean, a synthesizer if you're like looking for a funny sound, right? Like,
yeah, and the list of questions that I thought I might get tonight, that was definitely not on
it. Wait, are you predicting questions now? No Halo 7. Hello. Are there certain overdrives more suitable for solid state amps? Greetings from South Phoenix. Having some monsoons.
I think it depends on your amp, but I would say that a good solid state amp, like a Roland JC120 or something, they're cleaner, so you can use an overdrive pedal with them. It will sound different than a tube amp, of course, but you'll probably have more room to play around, I would think, because they're kind of flatter. They're kind of The clean's better.
Monsters of the Id said he was getting ready to propose during one of the live shows, and their wedding is October 16th.
Oh, sweet.
That's really cool. Congratulations. I think, okay, let's pop back over.
Okay.
Martian Murray, thoughts on covered versus uncovered humbuckers?
I say do whatever you want because it doesn't make as big of a difference as everybody thinks it does. I have a video coming about this. It kind of does, but not enough to be like, you know what? I really would like to have covered humbuckers because I want this guitar to look a certain way, but the tone is crap now. It's not like that.
All right, I'm going to read the next question. Rick said he sent you a photo to your Instagram and he had an inquiry, so you check that while I...
Okay.
Busy Bee Lawns. Hi, Dylan. Sorry, I'm off subject. I just got off work. Do they make quick electrical disconnects, females, that would work on volume pot, lugs, or tone pots?
They make these little green Molex connectors. You can get them on Amazon. You still have to solder to them, though, and set them up. So there's no real solderless pots, if that makes sense. Okay, we've got Rick's picture here.
Okay. I don't know what his inquiry is, though.
Oh, we don't know what his question is yet?
Oh, did he ask you? No?
Yeah. No.
He
He did
didn't
not.
ask-
I don't have a question to go with that. I just have a picture, but we'll wait for that to see if
okay.
it comes through.
Ask me your question.
Yes, I do have the picture now.
Lee Asbury, I'd definitely buy a loaded pickguard from you, Dylan, if you can get an anodized gold one-piece pickguard for a Squire Bullet Mustang, maybe with P90s, or your choice if you have any good ideas.
I would have to see. So anodized aluminum is a lot more limited.
Somebody was giving him somebody online,
Okay,
on
good.
eBay or something.
Good.
So there's a connection happening somewhere.
Okay, good.
I think I saw.
To help him with it.
Yeah, Fanshank Guitars, 21 months of membership, by the way. That's incredible.
Jeez.
And
wow.
his response to our question about YouTube mentors, it's just a little hard to hit the head while driving. So he can't spend more time in the bathroom.
Gotcha.
R1 Gambler, couch guitar straps are not Gibson CS Nitro safe. Don't ask how I know.
That's interesting because they're vegan. That's their whole, they don't use any animal products. But I can guess that...
His question is, have you seen this before? I actually think he was trying to identify the guitar.
It's an RG something, right? But it's got only 6 strings. No, I've never seen it. I tell you what you should do is ask this in the...
He said don't give him the metric answer.
No, ask this in
the
group on Facebook, and Fat Philosopher, help him with this because you are shreddy guy and you know this stuff. I don't know this stuff. I don't know when it comes to the Ibanez models. There's a bajillion and like.
Oh, he says he knows what it is. I don't know. We're missing some context.
Yeah, there. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. All right.
No idea.
Anyway. Fat Philosopher said Japanese don't associate nudeness with sexuality in many cases. Personally, I've only been to one unisex spa. Mostly it's old men and women. LOL.
That's so funny. Thank you for the insight.
Only in America
is it like that.
Is it sexualized?
Yeah. And people super prudish about it.
Oh, my bad. All right, here's the context. Rick of Bonneville. Dylan just picked up a trade, an Ibanez RGR 320EX.
Okay.
I want to send you a pic of the headstock. Maybe one of the peeps can clarify what I just traded.
Yeah, so do that in the Facebook group. And there will be some help for you because I know that Fat Philosopher, I think he's in the Facebook group, and he will probably be able to help you with that because he knows more about that stuff than me. And anybody else that is into that whole ESP, Ibanez, that whole genre of guitars, I'm just not as good at it.
Super chat from Mr. Goat. Thank you for the super chat. He says, what is your preferred communication type about pending and future orders? Girl, baby, and girl, cat say hi.
Email, and I know why you're asking, and I am on it. We are working on loaded pickguard stuff next week. Actually, I'm working on it tomorrow, and then the pickups for... We have like a bunch of loaded pickguard orders right now, and so I'm hoping to wind all of those next week. That's the goal. We had to wind 45 Strat pickups in the last 3 days, so and some other stuff. So I'm trying to get this order out tomorrow, and then we're gonna be on to yours because I know why you're asking. And his is really cool too because it's a humbucker and a P90 in a Strat pickguard. So super cool. Thank you for asking though. And for anybody else that's waiting for stuff, it's coming. We have, I think there's 3 or 4 orders left of the wide range humbucker rewinds that are still pending. We shipped a bunch last week. We worked on a bunch earlier this week.
Wide range season is almost over.
It's almost over. Thank goodness. We may never do it again. But
you still have to the end of the
you
month
still
to
have
get
to the
yours
end of the
in.
month. Yeah. It's a lot of work, man. I'm probably going to try to find the right stuff to make my own from scratch.
Like New Kids on the Block?
Yeah, the right stuff. Yes, exactly like the New Kids on the Block.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
I can never say this word, so you read this one.
Kunufe?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I've been living with my Kunufes for a month or so now, and I have to say that the Jazzmaster pickups you made me sound better, especially with a bit of lipstick mixed in.
Oh, that's cool to know, man.
That was Wayne Hussey, by the way. Sorry about that.
That's cool to know. I've never played those new ones, except for like in a Guitar Center, but that doesn't count.
Okay. Windsurf Maui. Watched blog number 16, hard mounting pickups, great whiteboard action. Does a soft sponge rather than hard flip-flops affect tone positively because magnetic signal goes through sponge?
No. No. The reason he's asking that is
That's
because...
like throwback right there.
Right? Because episode 14, holy crap.
16.
So if you use a piece of like dollar store flip-flops underneath your hard mount pickups, you can adjust height with them. But you can also use a sponge because it is also adjustable. Squishy. I actually use under my P90s and anything that needs to be adjusted like that, I go to the auto parts store like AutoZone or any of those cheap auto parts stores and get the cheapest weather strip that you can get for a car because it's squishy and kind of like you wouldn't use it as weather strip on your car because it wears out in 10 minutes, but you can cut it to a thickness or you can, and it's real squishy and you can use it as a pickup adjuster. Cheap.
Steven Soba, Texas Toast guitar class this week. A bass build with J pickups ×2 and a Delano pickup. Thought it was a 6-string, but a bass. Discuss those pickups for someone that knows very little.
I don't know about Delano's. I know it's a humbucker of some sort, but it's in a round thing, and I don't know anything about them. I know about jazz bass pickups because we make awesome jazz bass pickups, but I don't know anything about that Delano thing. I've seen them. They're in really fancy basses. I've seen them in fancy basses, but I don't know. I don't know bass stuff that well. Doesn't have enough strings.
Stephen Frazier, what's new from Sweetwater? That's very generic.
What is new from Sweetwater? I don't have... Oh, you know what? I do have one thing new. Hang on.
They're waiting.
This right here. I just got this. They didn't send it to me. I had to buy it. But I just got...
So little.
Tiny. The new Wampler Moxie, which is his... It's like TS10, not TS9, TS10 Tube Screamer. But it has two voices that one of them doesn't give you that pokey honky mid-range and one of them does, like a normal tube screamer. And then this other side is a fat switch that hits the amp a little harder and gives you more gain, and it's pretty awesome. This is a really cool pedal. I played it for quite a while the other night. So that's kind of my newest little hotness that I've been messing with.
Mr. Goat, what is something you miss from RV life?
We were just talking about this last night, and it is I don't know, where do you want to go? Let's just go somewhere. Like that feeling of being able to do that. And we still do it, but it takes more planning now. But on the flip side of that, our business is able to grow, and we are having a lot more fun with you guys and making better content and selling more pickups. And, you know, our son is working for us now, and so we're able to help him and his family out, which is really cool. So there's lots of benefits to not being on the road, but I do miss that, like, let's just go, you know? Yeah, so there's gives and takes to it.
I miss taking pictures. We haven't done that in a long
Yeah,
time.
I was just thinking that. I just bought a new lens, and I've only used it for some very generic few things.
We should work on
We
that.
missed a super chat, I think.
Did we?
Yeah, I just saw it flash up.
I didn't miss it. It's the last one. It's the most recent
It's
comment.
not the last one.
I mean,
it's the most recent one.
Keaton Brownstead, thank you for the super chat.
That sounds like a fancy name.
I've
That's cool.
been using Bias FX2 and am new to digital rigging. Do you have any tips for when you'd use an amp pedal like Dumble compared to using more amps?
So if you have this is my thing. If you have the amp profiles available to be able to just make the sound without putting pedals in front of it, to me, this is totally an opinion. I think it's more effective. I think the reason we have pedals like this is because we have an amp that doesn't make a sound that we want. So we get a pedal to make the amp sound like we want it to sound. Well, what if we could just have the amp that sounded that way? That's the way. So in fact, like I have this Black Star St. James over here, and that's the way I use it, is I play it without pedals.
We're starting to have a wall of amps over here, by the way.
Well, if you consider this a wall, I don't know if this is necessarily...
1, 2, 3, 4. I can see in my vision.
Oh, yeah, there's 4.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can see in my vision. That doesn't even make sense.
You can see in your vision. So I would say if you can use the amp profiles to build the sound, but then there's other people who will buy the same exact amplifier that I have, this Black Star St. James. They will only use the clean side and then use it as a platform to build their sounds with pedals. Mm-hmm. So there's no wrong way to do it. You know, I don't think there's any wrong way as long as you're getting the sound that you want. That would be mine.
If you're new to it, it's probably just fun exploring.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to want to buy pedals. Yeah.
Maybe. So we are totally caught up. And it's 2 minutes till.
Cool.
And you haven't talked about that it is still wide range season, that we are closing out whatever we're supposed to call this series on Thursday nights. I forget. Is this like guitar prime time or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because this is the last.
And we're missing a lot of key people because they're eating steaks with Texas Toast guitars.
Yes, and we should talk about that too. Hang on, I'm gonna grab a guitar.
You only have 1 minute.
No, we're gonna talk about this.
Dang it.
So, I want to keep making sure that we bring this up every week. This guitar is a guitar that you can build, or you can build it in a telly shape if you want, at Texas Toast in September. In Denver, Colorado, you can go to texastoastguitars.com and sign up for the workshop. There is a link to it in the description below. This has blind fret ends with hemispherical frets, which you will be able to learn how to do and do yourself. Wenge fretboard, roasted maple neck, hip shot tuners. Your name here, your name will be engraved in the back of the peg head. This neck will come basically cut out and shaped, but then you will final shape it on a deadhead sander, so you'll actually understand how to do that.
The other side, the dots.
Oh yeah, glow in the dark dots. It has carbon fiber reinforcements in the neck. It has a stainless steel wheel truss rod. The cool part is, as part of this workshop, you will learn how to wind your own pickups. So you will wind these pickups that go in this guitar. You will be able to wire it up. You'll be able to do all this stuff. And this body will start as a block of wood at the beginning of the week, and you will use a pin router and a bandsaw and do all the things and cut it out yourself from scratch. And by the end of the week, in 5 days, and you'll be able to paint it, you will have a complete guitar that is like properly boutique level guitar. This thing is really, really nice. Lumen laid dots, hot dog fret ends, the whole deal. So there's a link to the workshop in the description below. There's a couple of spots left. And as far as I know, there's only a couple of spots left for the one that we're doing in March. We're doing this again in March of 2023, and there's only a couple of spots left for that already. So just so you know, I just want to mention that.
And you get to meet us. We'll be there.
Yeah, because we'll be there. I'm going to be building one of these myself. So
Sean McMillan, he said, is this coming Monday, Zoom workshop?
Yes.
Yes.
This coming Monday is
Good
Zoom
reminder.
workshop. That is true.
So who is that? That is Patreon.
Patreon and YouTube members
YouTube.
that are at the $20 level.
Yeah.
So what we do is a Zoom meeting, and you turn your camera on, you turn your microphone on, and it's sort of like this, but it's way more in person. If you have a problem with a guitar, a nut buzzing, or some wiring issue or whatever, bring it with you, and we will chat about it and solve problems together.
Or just hang out.
Or just hang out and just have a...
So Ivan said it's on the 29th. No, it is the fourth Monday, so it is the 22nd.
It's the fourth Monday of every month.
It will be this Monday.
Yes, this coming Monday.
August is really long.
Yeah, August is a very long month. It's weird. It's got less days too, but it's still...
So Chris says, what guitar is that? I just joined.
This is a guitar that I designed a few years ago called the Batfish, but it's a guitar that you build in Colorado in September or in March. There are a few spots left. So, yeah, super cool. And I think that's about it.
Yep. Awesome. 2 minutes over.
Cool. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you. Well, if you're a Patreon member, we'll see you Monday night. But we'll also see you on Monday with a cool new video about loaded pickguards and Strats and stuff. Because Strats are my favorite guitar since I was a kid.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all.